The Somniel is the base of operations for Alear and their allies, where you can handle preparations in between battles. Today we're going to be talking about all the facilities in the Somniel and their practical applications in order to best spend your time preparing for the next battle here. This video is geared more towards newer players who may be overwhelmed at the amount of things to do in the Somniel, and those who have had quite a bit of time, multiple playthroughs of the game and so on, may not think they'll learn anything new here, but you may be surprised. There could be some lesser known facts and aspects about the Somniel that may have fallen through the cracks, even for those more confident in their way around the hub world. Let's take a tour. Starting at the Plaza, this is where you have all of your important shops available right next to each other. These are the Armory, the Item Shop, the Blacksmith, and the Boutique. At the Armory, you can purchase weapons for your army. The Item Shop is where, surprise surprise, you buy items like vulneraries and seals and all kinds of staffs. At the Blacksmith, you can refine weapons or engrave emblems onto them to increase their effectiveness in battles. At most, weapons can be refined to +5, and each specific emblem can only be engraved into one weapon at a time. There's a lot more to go over in the Blacksmith, but going any further would detract from the focus of this video, so instead it might be getting its own dedicated guide in the future. Finally, at the Boutique, you can buy and change characters' outfits. It doesn't have any impact on battles, but hey, if you don't like some character outfits or simply want to dress up your army in different casual clothes, then this is the place for you. North of the Plaza is the Cafe Terrace. In Cafe Terrace, there is a bulletin board where you can track achievements and gain bond fragments from completing them. This is also where you can invest gold into countries in order to get reward packages and to increase after battle rewards that take place within these countries. This is also the way to get the following S rank weapons once a particular country has reached level 5. Divine Fist Art, the S rank martial art with 11 might obtained from Brodia. Nodus, a single use S rank staff that fully restores everyone's engage meter obtained from Eluzia. Venomous, an S-rank smash lance with 34 might that can poison foes when attacking obtained from Farinay, and the Fragorok, a S-rank axe with no special properties but has a 19 base might obtained from Solm. You might also notice the music box on the right side of the room where you can change the music that plays in the Somniel. Saving the best for last, go up to the counter and you can cook a meal for yourself and 2 allies of your choice. The main benefit of doing so is getting support points between Alear and their dining partners and some minor temporary stat boosts depending on what you ate. You can use the ingredients you find around the Somniel or after battles to increase the effects of the meal and chance of a higher grade dish. While the result of cooking is mostly random, the character that is cooking is more experienced cooking certain dishes indicated by star symbols next to the name of the dish. For example, Diamant is an expert in cooking mutton and cottage stew and is skilled at making braised beef in grape sauce, which means that the food will more likely be of a higher grade than if he were to cook a peach cake, in which he has no experience in. On top of cooking something the chef can cook, it is also good to take note of what your eating companions like as well. If both characters like what they're eating, then the amount of support points gained between the 3 of you will be higher. As a general rule of thumb, most characters tend to like food from their home nation more than they would foreign dishes. In the same vein, characters are generally more experienced with cooking their own local dishes. Some handy meals to think about are making +2 speed meals that every nation has access to, but in particular, candied fruit. It's a meal that only Anna is skilled in, but requires only fruit to make, which you can get from the orchard. It gives +2 speed and +1 magic and res. Above Cafe Terrace, you will find Alear's personal room. While there isn't anything to do here in regards to battle preparations, there are some minor things you can do. First off, you can take a nap on the bed. Doing so will actually advance time within the Somniel, and you will be greeted by a character when you wake up. This serves 3 main purposes. Number 1, to advance time for activities that only take place within certain time frames. Number 2, to get a fan servicey scene of a character when they come to wake you up and get achievements associated with them. And number 3, doing this changes where characters are located, including changing who the chef is at the cafe. You can also reminisce at your bed to view any support or bond conversations, wake up events, or CGI cutscenes you have already seen. Not to mention that you can also listen to any music you've heard so far. Finally, you can change the difficulty from your bed. Keep in mind that you can only lower difficulty. So you can go from maddening to hard or hard to normal, but you can't go from hard to maddening. Also, keep in mind, if you start on maddening difficulty that has fixed growth rates on by default, you will still have fixed growth rates on even if you lower the difficulty. Going clockwise from the cafe, we have the arena. At the arena, you're given two options, standard training and emblem training. In standard training, you can put two of your characters against each other for a sparring match. You get to decide one fighter who will get EXP, while their opponent will be chosen at random from your army. Regardless of the outcome of the fight, you will be rewarded a small amount of EXP and support points between the pair, if applicable. If the character you choose to participate actually wins, you will get a boost in experience earned, but that's about it. With the exception of Maddening Mode, which is locked to 10 EXP no matter what. Emblem training is the more impactful option in the arena. In emblem training, you spend bond points to level up your character's bond points with specific emblems, only up to 5 levels at a time, and bond conversations will be viewed automatically upon reaching bond level 5. This is a quick and reliable way to unlock access to skills that you want to inherit on people without having to actually manually grind their bond EXP in battle. Keep in mind that the bond fragments required for each individual level increases exponentially, but the cost is reduced depending on the amount of bond EXP you currently have with the individual pair. Continuing clockwise from the arena, we'll see the training yard. There are two separate facilities here that you can take advantage of. The most noticeable thing here is strength training, which will boost either strength, dexterity, or HP, provided you succeed at their respective minigames, which, provided you're training with Sami, it is literally impossible to fail, as Sami will nullify any mistakes you make. Doing push-ups requires you to press A in rhythm to the falling line multiple times. Try to press A as soon as the line is about to pass the yellow section of the bar. Succeeding at push-ups will increase Alear's strength by 1 to 2 points and even up to 3 on expert difficulty. Sit-ups are mostly the same, but instead of pressing A at a rhythm, you're mashing A until the line reaches the top of the bar. You're only allowed one mistake until you fail. Succeed and Alear gets HP this time for the next battle. Finally, we have squats. In squats, you will move both control sticks in a simple minigame. Follow the movements of the arrows as soon as they reach the circles on the bottom of the screen. You have up to 3 mistakes until you fail. Succeed and you will get dexterity for the next fight. One thing to keep in mind is that the bonus stats you get from strength training, the cafe, and from tonics all count towards the same activity buff bracket, so you can use tonics to forego doing these minigames entirely if you so choose. The other facility in the training yard is wyvern riding. Here you can ride Ivy's wyvern and play a minigame reminiscent of Star Fox. Once you finish the minigame, you will be given rewards based on the difficulty and your score. Most notably, you should be getting at least 100 bond fragments every time you do this, while also getting free items such as elixirs and pure waters. Next to the training yard is the farmhouse. Here you can house animals that you adopted after battles. Each type of animal gives different types of items. Dogs give materials that can be used in the blacksmith to refine your weapons. Cats give you fish that can be used in cooking. Chickens drop eggs. Seagulls and pigeons drop nuts, so on and so on. Keep in mind that you can only have 5 animals out at once. And ideally, to maximize benefits of your animals, it's best to have 5 dogs out at once if possible. Below the farmhouse is the fortune teller shop run by Seedal. Seedal will open up the shop at nighttime since he's booked up during the rest of the day. Once you visit, you will be presented with a list of units, and you can choose who Seedal will read a fortune for. There is no limit on this, so you can do as many of these as you want. While the fortunes themselves don't have much practical application, the person they're thinking of does. As in, they will have boosted support point gains in the next battle, whenever it's applicable, as sometimes they don't have support conversations with the character they're thinking of. Right next to the fortune shop is the Flea Market, run by Tamara. Here, Tamara will sell you items not sold in the plaza, most notable of which are ingots for the blacksmith and upgrades to your fishing rod. She'll also sell gifts that you can give to your army in an unlimited quantity. Other than that, there's not much else to mention. Keep following the path south and you will reach the Grotto. This is where you will find Sami's shrine. When visiting the shrine, you can feed, pet, and dress up Sami. Every time you feed or pet them, you get 100 bond fragments for a total of 200 after every battle. Sami also likes you more each time you feed and pet them. Once they like you well enough, they will follow you around the Somniel, and like I mentioned before, will help you during minigames. Keep following the path and go south and you will reach the southern tip of the Somniel. It's here where you will find the Tower of Trials. In the tower, you can participate in 3 forms of battles: Tempest Trials, Relay Trials, and Outrealm Trials. Participating in Tempest Trials entails that you fight a series of 3 battles in a row at a difficulty level that you get to decide beforehand. On normal and hard mode, you will receive EXP after each fight, and the amount varies by what numbered battle it is, but not during the battles themselves. In Maddening mode, you don't get any EXP from this whatsoever. Despite this, the main reward from doing this are crystals you get after completing Battle 3. These crystals are used to refine Engage weapons that are used by emblems, with you getting more rewards the higher the difficulty of the enemies are. Relay Trials are similar to Tempest Trials, in which the objective is to clear a battle. Shocking, but there are 3 major differences. Number 1, you have to use relay tickets in order to start a run. Number 2, you need Nintendo Switch online to start a run, and number 3, you cannot finish a run yourself after starting one. The way Relay Trial works is that you spend a relay ticket to start a run. Depending on the map you choose, you have 2 to 3 turns. Once your number of turns are up, you are officially done with your portion of the run. From there, someone else will have to pick up your relay run and take over from there. This will continue until 5 players, including yourself, have gone. If the map isn't finished by then you will get no rewards whatsoever. To make it easier on the future players, there are tiles on the map that you can activate by standing on them, and doing so will allow future players to deploy more units. Outrealm Trials are reminiscent of the raids from Fire Emblem Heroes. In this mode, you can set up a defensive map from assets and elements that are provided to you. This custom map is then used in battles against other players' teams controlled by AI and custom defenses. The custom maps made by both players are being used at the same time with a divider in the center. Keep in mind that if you are on the offensive, you cannot use any units, emblems, nor items that are being used by your defensive setups. Regardless of if you win offensively or if your defensive AI wins against the other player on the defensive, you will receive minor rewards such as gifts. There are rankings, but I have yet to see any actual rewards for climbing the ranks. One major thing to note for the entirety of the Tower of Trials, anything that happens within the trials, such as changing inventory or classes, or even death, will be reverted back to what it was like before you started a trial. After exiting the tower, take the path northwest and you will find the fishing pond. You are given the choice of fishing rod and given 3 bait each time you go fishing. Once you choose your rod, you can aim where you will cast your line and then press A to cast it. Wait for your controllers to vibrate, or when Diamant yells, "Now," then press A. Once the fish bites, move the left stick in the indicated direction in order to daze the fish. Once it's dazed, spam the A button to deal continuous damage towards the fish's health bar until it recovers. Rinse and repeat until its health bar is completely empty. At that point, there is one last quick time event where you have to press A once the 2 circles overlap, a la 3 houses. North of the fishing pond is the Amiibo Gazebo. Here you can scan amiibos up to 5 times a day. If you scan a Fire Emblem amiibo, you will get a clothes and music voucher the first time you scan them. These vouchers can be exchanged for outfits and music based on each emblem. Afterwards, each time you scan the same Fire Emblem amiibo, you will get a relay ticket. Continue up the path and you will find the orchard. It's a consistent stream of fruits that can be used as ingredients in cooking. Last, but certainly not least, the ring chamber. This is where you can inherit skills from emblems, create and meld bond rings, and refine engage weapons. Once you reach bond level 5 with a specific emblem, you can start to inherit skills from them for that specific pairing. This is where most of the build variety will come from, so use emblem training in the arena to your advantage. Bond rings can be made using bond fragments and range from rank C to rank S. Some rank S bond rings even come with skills. Check the list out right here. What bond rings you can create are limited to the emblems that are currently in your army. By use of the crystals you picked up from Tempest Trials, you can add specific refinements to engage weapons like the rapier, or even give them effectiveness on certain enemy types if they don't already have them. So far, we covered quite literally everything notable about the Somniel, but what if you wanted to spend as little time here as possible and just get on with it towards the next battle? Visit your 5 dogs. Yes, that's literally all you have to do, as these are the only animals that give you ingots for the blacksmith. Even if you get a single silver ingot from them, that's still 90 iron or 9 steel if you exchange them. Obviously, you would want to visit the blacksmith if you have the materials and money necessary to refine the weapons you want to refine, or to do emblem training to deepen the bonds with the emblems, to in turn inherit skills in the ring chamber. While technically optional, you should probably always cook a meal for the global and sometimes random bonus buffs that the Cafe Terrace provides. As mentioned previously, all the buffs you get from the cafe and strength training fall into the same activities bracket. They'll also overwrite a smaller numerical value with the higher one should you get 2 bonuses of the same buff. Making meals at the Cafe Terrace is quite easy and fast, but if you, for some reason, are compelled to not be in the Somniel ever, tonics technically can do the same job, although I would recommend getting the meal. And that will do it for today's video. Like I said before, the Somniel has a lot of facilities to visit, but some are definitely more worthwhile than others. The way I personally use the Somniel is get my ores from my dogs and then forge if I need to, then get buffs for the next battle, get tonics if necessary as +2 will be higher than +1 if that happens, do my arena grinding and focus on any emblem skills I'd like to inherit, and then finish off my visit in the ring chamber. Although most of the time I'm annoyingly going back and forth between the latter two. Everything else is too long or annoying to bother with. Hopefully Hopefully the information provided here will help you manage your time within the Somniel a little better, and I'm sure you must have learned something about the hub world. I actually learned quite a bit. I now pass the following questions off to you. What's your Somniel routine? What activities do you like and dislike the most? And finally, did you learn anything new today? If you liked this video, please consider leaving a like before you go, as more likes helps boost this video guide in search engines. And if you want to see more guide and educational Engage content, please subscribe for more. Thanks for watching. Deuces.